Yeah, there was a time when I was in Pittsburgh. I was working for a company called RPS, which is now FedEx Ground, and I was a young coordinator, supervisor. And I was working the second, third shift, and I would catch myself falling asleep, leaving work. Didn't know why.
Really?
It was just really tired, just not enough. I would have to pull over and wake myself up and finish the ride home. It was about a 30-minute ride. Didn't know what was going on.
So was it work related, or was it health related, or
It was health related.
It was health related.
Yeah, so I was a slim 240 back then, and I didn't know what was going on. I had sleep apnea.
I was burnout and stressed, trying to make sure that everything was perfect and done the way it needs to be done. And then you just start to realize that whenever you're working for yourself, every day it's kind of like a wedding. And what I mean by that is there's so much preparation to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. And it's not going to go as smoothly as possible.
We can be cynical when we read, it's I guess it's a reading of the room. I mean, I don't think it's a conscious thing. I think it's a subconscious thing. And it comes out when we come into a room and we read it correctly. And you start hearing how people talk and you read their intelligence level.
Yeah, I almost...
If that makes sense.
No, it does. I think that's a tricky word, cynical. I almost think it's one that you can't label yourself as. It's almost a label that someone makes through observation.
When I discovered that I had to get ready for the Secret Service physical test, I went to Atkins and started working out like crazy. I was jacked. I was jacked at 240, 239. I was lean, mean, and ready to go.
That's a scary sounding dude.
Oh man, I think that was even in football.
You were never in that good shape.
No, that was the best. I think I hit my apex right
You
there.
didn't have to be in football. You had to be in football shape, which means strong enough to get off of, strong enough to break off of a linebacker, quick enough to make this move. Secret Service, you gotta look like a specimen.
This episode is brought to you by Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors. If you're in need of financial advice and or retirement advice, with 12 locations from here in Hammond, Louisiana, all the way over to Florida, they're the ones to go to. If you need to get in contact with them, we have all their contact information in the description below.
Ray, making our way through the first month of the year. Resolution, did a whole little thing on that. You had one thing in particular that you were going to work on for you, and that was getting to bed by 11 p.m. How's that going?
It's going well.
Is it really?
It didn't start off very well.
But you're hanging in there? You're getting it?
Yeah, I'm there.
That's good to hear. Because, I heard something that only 8 to 9% of people actually consider their New Year's resolution a success.
8 to 9%?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It is. So keep getting to bed.
Welcome to the New Dead Order podcast. My name is Ray. We got Parfait over there.
How's it going, everybody? Ray, rested?
I am rested, excited, ready to get it done.
There you go. You sound really motivated right now. So no, that's good though, because burnout's a real thing that can happen, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about just a dad burnout situation and things that happen with that. That's not always just a physical burnout, not necessarily always a mental burnout. It could be a combination of both and how we get there. Have you had any personal experience of just feeling burnt out physically, emotionally, mentally for extended periods of time?
I mean, extended periods of time.
Through life. So not necessarily like extended period. I'm talking like a long term can look back and be like, there was a time where I was just completely drained for a year.
Yeah, there was a time when I was in Pittsburgh. I was working for a company called RPS, which is now FedEx Ground. And I was a young coordinator, supervisor. And I was working the second, third shift, and I would catch myself falling asleep, leaving work. Didn't know why.
Really?
It was just really tired, just not enough. I would have to pull over and wake myself up and finish the ride home. It was about a 30-minute ride. Didn't know what was going on.
So was it a work related, or was it health related, or
it was health related?
It was health related.
Yeah. So I was a slim 240. I was 240 back then, and I didn't know what was going on. I had sleep apnea.
Okay.
Did not know I had it because
now it seems like everyone has that.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know I had it. I had it the whole time during college.
You sleep with your Darth Vader mask going in?
I used to. Now I use a mouthpiece.
It doesn't affect you?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
All right. I hope I don't get that.
I think you're good. I've had that since I was, like I said, in college.
That's what I'm saying, though. You were young. I mean, you were young in
Exactly.
college.
Mhm.
And to have sleep apnea.
It's more with it's a nasal issue. And I thought I got it corrected. I went in and got my tonsils and soft palate. I got that all cut out because that's the time when I tried to get into the Secret Service.
Oh, okay.
And still didn't work because I think I came back too early and got retested. And I had they said slight sleep apnea.
There's no such thing as slight. Like you have it or you don't, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
kinda
But the doc was trying to word it
to your advantage.
to my advantage.
At least trying to help you out
Yeah,
there.
but the secret, you can't fall asleep on the job. So
So it's
denied
because of sleep apnea.
sleep apnea.
You know what causes it? And guys that don't know anything about medicine?
So if
According to my vast research
Mhm.
that I've done,
the AI Jamie,
yeah, they so it could be just an anatomy issue.
Yeah.
So a large tongue, I kind of have a weird tongue. So I wonder if I'm prone to it. But then like receded jaw, which I have a little bit of an underbite. Not much.
Has your wife ever had to wake you up or said, you snore really, really loud?
No, I don't snore.
You don't have it.
Okay. Well, that's a good
You're
sign.
fine.
Thank you, Dr. Ray.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
But,
I was told
but your
many-
weight can affect it. I did learn that.
Yes.
So if you are overweight and like more fat in your neck area,
Mhm.
which makes sense because you're sleeping and your
It
weight's
collapses.
back and it collapses. I'd imagine that, simple physics could be completely wrong, but that seems, gravity. And then, yeah, family history.
I
didn't
think
realize that
I
was.
think I might have more of the family history because I wasn't big when I discovered it. I wasn't big when I was playing ball.
Mhm.
So I think that's where
what
it
caused-
affects me. Mhm.
Gotcha. So you were falling asleep on the ride home.
Yeah.
And it was from work exhaustion, you think? Or, well, no, it was sleep apnea. Well, you weren't sleeping at night because of sleep apnea
Well, I didn't know that
at the time.
at the time. I didn't know that
Okay.
until I got tested. Yeah. But it caused me to be a little frustrated with myself because I wasn't doing the work I was supposed to be doing correctly.
Okay, that was my next question. So,
Mhm.
obviously, we talked about the physical aspect of it, not resting, tired, taking a nap on the way home from work. But what did it affect you mentally from that?
Oh yeah, it sure did.
Like it took a toll on you, like at work, meaning.
So at work, I would skip steps, not purposely. I might have forgot. Eventually, my plant manager pulled me to the office. We had a one-on-one conversation, and he set me on the right path.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a little motivation.
A little motivation
From some leadership.
from my leadership, and I got back on the right path. And so he said, he basically at the end of it, he's like, you need to figure out what's causing this because this isn't you. It doesn't make sense.
That's a good guy. He can actually see a difference in personality from the guy that he first started working with
Correct.
to which you evolved into, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah. So he gave me that feedback and it made me go, got tested. I don't know what it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't say that I've had bouts of feeling completely burnt out. Now, there were certain times whenever I had the store where never had a day off, really, right? Never had a day off. If I wasn't there, I was still there. I had the cameras to the store on my phone at all times, and I could see it. And if anything happened, I was getting a phone call. So I was never really there. So there was definitely a moment, or not a moment, there was definitely a period of time where I had to learn how to not feel overwhelmed by constantly being on call, basically. Because even when I wasn't there, I was there type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the upside to it is the fact that I was able to mature and develop and relegate certain time to doing that without a wife and without a kid. So I think that was an advantage for me to be able to start to adjust to that, to where eventually when I got married and then had a kid, it was fine. I was able to manage all the time and I didn't really feel burnt out. So whenever we had a little dude and the nights were late and couldn't necessarily sleep because the baby doesn't want to sleep and doesn't really care what your work schedule is. It didn't affect me a great deal, but I think it was only because I was able to work through that earlier in life before being married, before having a kid. And so I think that was an advantage from that standpoint, but I definitely felt there were times whenever I was burnt out and stressed, trying to make sure that everything was perfect and done the way it needed to be done. And then you just start to realize that whenever you're working, especially whenever, I think whenever you're working for yourself, every day it's kind of like a wedding. And what I mean by that is there's so much preparation to make sure everything goes as smoothly as possible. And it's not going to go as smoothly as possible. But whenever things get messed up, nobody knows except for you. And it's kind of like on your wedding day where you can do all this preparation for the wedding. If something isn't right, the centerpiece for the tables wasn't what it's supposed to be. You had an ice sculpture and it was something different than what you had planned it to be. The only person that knows that are the people who planned it, but all the guests don't know.
Right.
And with the business, it was kind of like everything that I had that was supposed to be run in this order like this, nothing. The customers had no clue. They didn't know. Whenever they showed up, their stuff was still there. Ran into a problem with a wholesaler and couldn't get something. And I'm like, hey, look, I got to make a trip to New Orleans to go pick up some stuff because we don't have the product that we need. So I hop in the car and I go and I come back and customer follows me into the store and the thing that's in the box that I just brought back, they asked to buy and they had no clue. They didn't know what the morning was like whenever I got like out of stock on all this stuff, but figured out a way to get it done. And so I think those were the small victories that where I would have gotten stressed out a great deal in the beginning. Later on, I just kind of realized, it's going to be okay. We can work through it, keep it smooth.
But how did you get there? Was it time? Was it just wisdom? Was it because of that burnout thing? That's tough, especially when you're in the moment.
Definitely wasn't as calm as what I portrayed to be. I mean, driving down I-10 were some choice words to myself in the car.
Right.
And calling people idiots and on the phone with the people who messed up the stuff and trying to get my point across that I don't want this to happen again. So, but I was able to disconnect as soon as that was over. So rather than just hanging on to that frustration where I was really upset, really mad, maybe gave an earful to people, as soon as the phone call was over or the conversation I was over. It was done. Like, this is the situation. I'm dealing with it. You didn't help because you couldn't do your job the proper way. And now I'm dealing with it. And understand that I don't want to have this phone call with you.
Wow.
So I had a lot of that in me where I don't ever, like my wholesale rep, I used to constantly tell her, I was like, I don't ever want to talk to you. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, if I'm talking to you, I have a problem. If I don't have to talk to you, that means everything is going smoothly on your end and my end. And there's no complaints. The more I talk to you, it's me being frustrated. She's like, well, but we want to provide. I'm like, you'll provide great customer service if I don't need customer service.
There you go.
That is the true sign of what it was. And that was my goal. And it took her a while to kind of learn my personality, but eventually she was just kind of like, all right, well, I got to call Jared and tell him some bad news about what's going on. And she would call me and I'm like, you're calling me. So what's your bad news? She knew it right away. She's like, well, this is it. I was like, okay. I was like, well, what's the goal to get around it? Like, well, I don't, I was like, well, look, tell you what, you just made me upset and you didn't even give me a solution or potential workaround after you gave me this information. So how about you hang up, call me back later whenever you think of something that's going to fix the problem that just got created. And now I'm going to think about it as well. And let's see if we can come to something that makes sense. And so that was, like I said, though, but that didn't happen overnight. But it was very much the way that I ran things whenever I was in charge. So now working in corporate America, I don't understand how half these people have jobs. I really don't.
What do you mean?
There's just a lot of dumb people that have worked their way into like middle management roles where all they do is forward an email that someone else sent them with no direction of how to carry out that information. Like they don't have an answer for anything. It's just like, and they can't even shoot straight with it's just kind of the way it is, man. I get it. It doesn't make a ton of sense. These are the cards we're dealt. Let's try to figure out a way to make life go as smoothly as possible. It's almost like in corporate America, people can't do that. They can't speak frankly about the corporation because it's almost like a fear of losing their job. And I've said it before, it is a really, really shitty way to go about your day. If your greatest fear of doing your job is the fact that you don't want to lose your job, it doesn't make for happiness. That, I think, can cause burnout. I think that can cause some serious mental fatigue.
Well, I think one of the key components on burnout is that tasks that used to be simple feel overwhelming.
Mhm.
So that's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
You know,
So
versus here, look at this email that I'm forwarding to you, and what I would like you to do is A, B, and C. Versus what they're doing is just like, let me see if they can figure this out. I don't. It's tough to get an email like that and go, okay,
But
now I'm a superhero and I can read your mind.
yeah. Well,
That's
and
tough, man.
it's just like, hey,
That's tough.
these are the facts with no plan. Like, yeah, but we're not allowed to just kind of do what we want because that's the corporate structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, you're giving me this information in my head, this information, we should carry out things accordingly like this. But you're telling me we can't do that, but yet you can't tell me how to do.
Oh man, that's tough.
Like that kind of. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, you know what? Show up, do my job, nothing to worry about, take care of my accounts that I have to take care of, and come home and hang out with you. Or go to practice 8 nights a week.
Wow.
So did you get because of a burnout thing, and we're gonna talk mainly about it being from a dad perspective, but there is a chance where you being, I mean, a Division I athlete back in the day, there's a lot of time demand right there.
Mm-hmm.
And did you, thinking back, experience any type of burnout trying to make sure study hall and learn the playbook and rehab the injury and get to the weight room and not miss out on anything? Did you have any of that happened to you at a young age?
Yeah, I sure did. I think back after the fact of, well, after I discovered that I had sleep apnea, then I think my effort wasn't where it needed to be because I was tired.
Mhm.
And I think I was tired because I wasn't getting the proper sleep. And I go back to go, and that's what made me think like it had to be because of the sleep apnea.
The lack of sleep is kind of something that you've, you're trying to set straight in 2026.
I hadn't always been like this. I love sleeping.
And why don't you?
I don't, because I want to be up all the time now. I don't, it's very weird. I don't know when the transition happened, but it happened it happened before I got married.
Okay.
It happened before I got married. Because I'll tell you, my roommate used to tell me, man, you are sawing logs over there, bro.
So whenever you were out, you were done.
It was like, he's like, it's like you're trying to breathe. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
No, that's definitely not what you want someone to tell you. That,
No.
hey, man, it sounds like you're trying to breathe while you're sleeping.
Yeah, like you're trying to. So it was like, I remember going on a plane ride to El Paso. I'll never fall asleep on a plane again. I got hit in the head with a pin. Everybody, I woke up and I'm like, what? And everybody, because I was sleeping and it was loud. I had not realized it. So
yeah, I think so. You were kind of giving me stuff about, yeah, man. You go to bed early. People tell me that go to bed early,
mm-hmm.
and I started thinking about that after we had the conversation, and I realized that I've always been somewhat sleep deprived. And what I mean by that is I'm in bed early, but I'm not really sleeping that late. Waking up at 3:50, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to bed at 10:30. I'm falling asleep. So I'm not getting this great amount of sleep, but I used to do that back in the day. It was just kind of flipped different where I stayed up later because we were playing poker all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would play poker till 1 a.m. and then go home, and then I would wake up and I'd go to work for 7:30, 8 o'clock. And so it was the same amount of sleep. It was just those 6 hours were just shifted at a different time because I was staying up later.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was, catching a little bit more on the backside and then going there. So I've always been one that didn't require a ton of sleep to get through the day and still be completely functional. So play poker from 7 p.m. till 1 a.m., go home, get some sleep, wake up, go to work, get home from work, maybe grab a 30-minute nap, and then off to Grandma Harris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's where my night owl wanted to stay up late and enjoying staying up late and it's barely sleeping.
It was from poker.
Yeah, that's the era. That's when it started. Mm-hmm.
But I could say that I was very disciplined on my weekday plays. I know I was, because I had a percentage of money that if I hit on a weekday play session, I was out. I was out. Period. If it took me an hour to do it, if it took me 2 hours to do it, 3 hours to do it, it was either going to be I'm playing till about this time and never give myself a hard cap on the time, because you just can't do that in poker. You might as well just get up from the table right there. Mm-hmm. But I would say that if percentage of money that I win is this, no matter how long I'm at the table, I'm out. And I leave. So, like I said, that number is for me to know, but there was a number whenever I sat down at the table where if I picked up that amount of money, I'm like, I'm out. And if people wanted to say, oh man, hitting and run, I'm like, no, cuz I'll be here tomorrow night too. So you can come take your lick then too. And then I'll be here on Friday and Saturday night as well. So so I'm not hitting and running, but I am running right now because I did what I came to do and I'm out. And so I definitely held true to that. I didn't chase money, losing session, boom, chalk it up, see you tomorrow. So I could get away with that. But that was just a level of discipline that I developed over time because I would sit there and play till the sun came up and then regret it because I was trying to chase $200 to get even or something. I'm like, well, what are we doing here? You know, that's one pot.
Did it. We all did it though.
Yeah.
We all did. So, I know I did it quite often. The weekends.
Just needed to win more. Or get down early. That's always usually a big strategy of mine. The earlier you get down, the more time they have to get unstuck. So just get that first buy-in out the way. Mm-hmm. Wasn't necessarily the way I wanted to draw it up, but it happened.
Right. There's like some key signs, like 6 key signs of burnout.
All right, 6 key signs of burnout.
Mm-hmm. Emotional exhaustion.
Okay, we talked about that a little bit.
Another one would be feeling detached or cynical, irritability, lack of motivation, neglecting self-care, and there will be some physical symptoms as well.
Such as?
Headaches, irregular sleep, and just different kind of aches in your body.
Okay. So emotional exhaustion, do you feel that as a dad ever?
Oh, yeah.
Currently or at certain times? Do you think that you suffer from emotional exhaustion right now?
No.
From a parenting standpoint?
No. But there have been times, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially having 4 different kids.
That's very true.
Yeah. There's been times.
Yeah. I would say that emotional exhaustion is not something that I'm currently dealing with, but there were definitely at times. Emotional exhaustion definitely came whenever he was really sick a few years ago. You can't cure him. You don't know what's going on. He's at the mercy of the doctors, and he's got this disease that nobody knows a whole lot about because people just didn't really have it. And they're like, it's a waiting game. We treat it. He's going to get better. He's not the first person to have it. Checked his heart. Everything's good. And a 4 or 5 month process of dealing with it took some emotional or put some emotional exhaustion on me. And then I would say that the second time that I had some true emotional exhaustion was whenever my dad passed away in the fall of 2025, and dealing with the emotions that my son was going through more than with the emotions that I was going through. So didn't have the best relationship with him towards the end. For a deeper conversation at another time, he wasn't a great dad. Wasn't terrible. Wasn't horrible. He wasn't abusive or anything like that. But he was abusive at times in the sense of he was somewhat manipulative and a bit of an ass and a poor me guy and just very selfish. But my siblings and I didn't really have to deal with it because we were all at a place where we had no dependency on him. We saw through it. But my son, that was still his papa, and he loved him. And with that love that he had, he got to see him and never be disappointed by him. And I've said that to some friends, and I'm like, I'm happy that my dad died when he did because he didn't have a chance to disappoint my son the way he disappointed me. Not saying that I wish death upon him because that would be morbid. But what I mean is the fact that my son didn't get to a point in time in life to where his grandfather was there to disappoint him. He gets to walk away with a memory of, I miss him. I don't have that memory. So that created some extremely emotional exhaustion for me.
Yes.
Of dealing with his emotions and trying to guide him through it and still let him see his grandfather in a positive light, which I never talked bad about my dad in front of him. And there's no reason to. There's going to be one day where it's going to be a hard conversation where we're going to talk about some things in life, and it'll probably be the first time he messes up and with some type of substance. And we're going to, hey, man, let's have this real talk about what can really happen in life whenever you really don't have strong will, and they don't get that lesson.
In regards to your father, and before he did pass, did you see a difference in him though, or did you see that eventually he is going to do it? He's going to disappoint my son.
Oh, he was 100% going to. Okay. I mean, he was an addict.
Shucks. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
He was an addict. He was a closeted addict for 35 years.
Wow. Okay.
You know? So, yeah, he was going to. He had no choice. I mean, that's who he was. So he was going to create a level of disappointment at some point in time. Luckily, my dude never had to experience it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He gets to live all the way up to his adulthood without having to experience it and hang on to the memories that he had for whenever it's time to have a real conversation. And I'm not going to be itching to have that conversation with him, but it will be a conversation he needs to be fully aware of, because I do believe that addiction is something that runs in the bloodline, and you can channel that for a lot of different ways. Let's just make sure we channel our addiction in the proper way. So if being cynical is a sign of a dead burnout, I guess I'm burnout. I'm pretty cynical by nature.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Situational. So,
yeah, and I think I think you're just a human being. I think that's all it is. You should be situationally cynical.
Yeah, I think also we can be cynical when we read. It's I guess it's a reading of the room. You read the room, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna put that away. I mean, I don't think it's a conscious thing. I think it's a subconscious thing, and it comes out when we come into a room and we read it correctly, and then you start hearing how people talk, and you read their intelligence level.
Yeah, I almost,
if that makes sense.
No, it does. I think that's a tricky word, cynical. I almost think it's one that you can't label yourself as. I think it's almost a label that someone makes through observation, which means that whenever you say you being cynical is situationally, meaning that if you're in a group of people that you don't necessarily hold in high regard from an intelligence standpoint, and you question certain things that they're doing and they know it, that group of people will call you cynical. When you're around a group of peers that you have respect for, an intelligent conversation, whatever it may be about, whether it be work, personal, faith, whatever it may be, and you feel that you are all contributing equally, those people won't say raise a cynic, because you're thinking on the same level as them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
I just think it's a term that's more proper for other people to label you as, but it's strictly based on how you are in that situation.
How about this? I get this a lot from my family and from other people. I didn't know that you were trying to be. I thought you were serious the whole time. I get that a lot.
Oh,
I thought you were serious,
but you were being facetious.
Yeah. Sometimes I made the right read. I didn't. I'm telling you, there's times where
I could see it.
Where I go, where I'll say something, and everyone's looking at me. Like, what? I was joking. So yeah.
So could it just be because you're not funny?
It could be that, or just because I'm a big black guy.
That tends to dominate a room whenever a 6'4" black guy walks in and makes a comment where you're not sure if it's a joke or not.
Oh well, I've done that a lot.
Well, yeah,
I used to do that in college a lot. That was bad. That was real bad.
No, those are fun times. I mean, like I said, I used to trash talk you whenever you walked in the room just for people to think I had a death wish. So
yeah, but that was super fun.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just insult Ray.
And there were the faces, because the thing is too is I would never see you until that comment came out.
Yeah.
Because you say you didn't.
I never wore a hood on my head.
No, it was your hat.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, it was your hat. It was that, and you don't peacock.
No,
You're out there like, look at me. You're just like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was saying you were in the shadows or anything like that. It's just you didn't present yourself like, you didn't.
Well, I wasn't table captain.
No, exactly.
I wasn't table. No. I'd talk to the people around me, entertain them, make comments there.
Yes.
If feeling detached and cynical is a true sign of burnout, it exists a lot in dads. And I think it's an honest moment conversation for yourself as a dad whenever you start to feel detached. Because if you're feeling detached from things that you love, and it may be a hobby, something that you really enjoy doing, and you feel like you never get to do it, I think you can emotionally drain yourself from that and then cause some type of resentment. And then you have a burnout whenever you're doing it because of like a feeling of guilt, whenever you're actually getting to do the thing that you want. I think that starts to tiptoe down the line of slight depression, where you can't find a happiness in the things that you actually enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the balance that you're trying to keep of family and work and still have fun, and the pressure that you put on yourself. I think that's when you start having these feelings of detachment and no identity. You start to lose that. And that's losing your identity. You feel lost and burn out and tired, and it starts to wear on you.
Yeah, it's good.
So I do think that do think a lot of guys go through that, and I think a lot of them go through that whenever a child first gets introduced into the situation, and it takes time to work through that and come back and find themselves. And we have what? Irritability, snapping at small things. I don't know. I think that's a personality thing. I don't necessarily. I mean, this says that it's a sign of burnout, but I guess if you're someone who's very even kill and you start to snap, then
well, I have an example of that. One of my guys did something incorrectly. On my way home, he explained it to me, and now my emotions are getting high. I'm getting red-faced.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't take the time to calm down before I came into the house. My wife goes, "What's wrong with you?" Just something at work. This is what happened. Da, 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 da. So I just told you that.
Oh, yeah. She didn't deserve that.
No, she did not.
No, she was asking you a genuine question to see what is wrong with her husband.
Exactly.
And that would be it. I think that's a great example of that situation. And you know what? I definitely did that at times. I know I did. I wouldn't necessarily blow up at her, but I probably did in moments. Like I said,
but it was like a soft, irritable reply, but it was very negative.
Yes,
not the it was very soft, and I was irritated. So I took 5 minutes. I went and grabbed her and I hugged her and I squeezed her. Said sorry.
Said, "Don't you ever talk to me like that again?" No. Oh, that's good though. But that is definitely an example of snapping at something small that had nothing to do with her other than her curiosity of how her husband's day was.
Exactly.
Yep. So I guess if you find yourself doing that, mark that down as, hey man, I'm probably burnt out and need to figure out some things. If that is something that is going on. Then
take some extra time in the car before you go in the house.
Yeah, decompress. We've talked about that before, and I'm a big fan of finding some type of way to decompress from the workday into coming through the door and seeing family.
Mm-hmm.
So, but lack of motivation, not just laziness, but you can't muster energy to do anything.
I'm just burnt out, man.
That's the definition.
I just don't feel it.
You've been hitting the gym?
Don't feel like hitting the gym.
Have you been?
Know? Me?
No, the other guy I'm talking to.
Yeah, not as often as I want to. No, not as often as I want to. It's just a couple of things. Like Tuesday, yes, but then Monday, ball game. Tuesday, yes. Wednesday, ball game. And then Thursday, we're shooting.
Yeah.
Friday, ball game. So that's what's stopping me from going to the gym. It's not because I don't want to. But the other part too, my wife always says, go to bed earlier, before 11 o'clock, and get up earlier. We'll go to the gym together.
I didn't say it.
I'm like, no, you have said that too.
I didn't say it this time.
And maybe I need to get over the mental thing of just going to bed and then get up early.
Yeah, and I'm using the gym thing as something, but that's a personal thing. There's a lot of people that don't work out and don't exercise, and that's perfectly fine. You could still feel like you're being lazy. I mean, even those guys, or when whoever, that person that doesn't work out or exercise on a regular basis. Yes, for me, if you don't exercise, I'm like, why would you not? Like, why would you not want to do something to improve your health? But a lot of people don't do it. Perfectly fine. But if you're one of those people that don't find time to do some type of physical exercise, you can still feel lazy because you're filling your day with other things that are important to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're not even able to get through those normal things that you enjoy doing, or not even enjoy, if you can't get through those normal tasks that were part of your daily routine, and you're feeling sluggish and lazy about it, then yeah, I think that is part of it. Obviously, if you're a person who typically exercises, 3 to 5 times a week and you're not going there, well, then you're going to start to feel lazy because you know what you were used to doing as far as an energy standpoint. And if you didn't, you still know what you're capable of doing throughout the day. But now instead of, some guys tinker, right? They like to go into the garage and they just tinker with stuff, always have some kind of little project going. And if you're one of those guys, that's great. That's a skill that I wish I had, right? I wish I had that skill. I don't have that skill. I would love to be able to do that. But if that is a hobby of yours where you normally go in there and you're trying to build something, fix something, whatever it may be, you're the guy who everybody brings their broken weed or two. And you're like, I just don't feel like doing it. But like, that's something that you would typically do.
Yep.
Like, there's a sign right there that something is going on where you are burnt out and you need to figure out some other things peripherally in life to get you back on track to doing those things that you used to enjoy, and had the energy to do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Self-care, neglecting it. This feels like me a little bit here. Skipping sleep.
Skip meals?
I only eat once a day. I'll eat a snack, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's what my buddy told me.
Like, I mean, I think it's okay to eat whenever you're hungry. That's the way we are as animals.
I think so. I mean, if you think about it, back in the day when we were hunter-gatherers, we could only eat when we killed something.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'd go a little while without killing something.
I kind of deep dive into the should you fast, should you not fast, should you eat 5 small meals a day or whatever. And
yeah, what do you do?
The consensus that I've come to off of everything that I've tried, the intermittent fasting, I've tried the 5 small meals, I've tried all that. I will say that, like we talked about in our, resolution episode, that in August of 2024, I decided to make a hard lifestyle change and really get serious and, try to live forever type thing. That moment right there, I was like, I am going to prioritize certain things that I eat, and I'm going to eat when I am hungry. Strictly when I'm hungry. And that's what I do. I do force myself to eat breakfast, and it's the only reason why I force myself to eat breakfast is only on days that I work out. Now, it happens to be I work out, I work out during the week. That's a normal routine. But I force myself to eat breakfast because I know that I just burned a bunch of calories. Mm-hmm. I know that I was lifting weights and I want to build muscle. So I'm going to prioritize protein in the morning. So, it's 4 or 5 eggs. It's a double scoop of protein powder. It's some fruit. And that is the only meal that I force myself to eat in the day. Mm. And it's strictly based off of the activity that I did prior to it. That's it. I don't want to get dehydrated. Dehydration will lead to poor sleep as well. And so after that, today I ate lunch at 11 a.m. I was hungry. Tough workout this morning. Whatever reason. I don't know. I was hungry.
Yeah.
So chicken breast, white rice, and vegetables. Boring. Whatever. That's my lunch. Mm. This evening, wasn't really that hungry. All right. So won't eat. Drink a protein shake. And that's it. So I have gotten down to I eat when I'm hungry. I'm not forcing myself to eat. I typically eat supper. Sometimes I'll skip lunch. Sometimes lunch is like, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, I got to eat something. I'm hungry. Uh-huh. So I'll find something to eat. And then at supper, I will fix a small plate so we can all sit down as a family to eat. But there are certain times whenever I am strictly just going through the motion of eating the food to sit down with my family and have supper.
Right.
Not that I'm necessarily hungry, which is probably why, I'll always be a fat boy at heart. So I can find room for a little meal. But but yeah, that's the way I've done it for a year and a half. What about you?
Yeah, I've tried intermittent fasting.
How'd that go?
It went well. I lost some weight, but then I got off it. How it always goes. I used to do the all meat thing when I was
The
in
carnivore diet?
not the carnivore. This is before. It was it was just meat and some greens. I used to eat like a you eat burgers without the bread.
Oh,
All that.
like Atkins diet.
Atkins. That's
Yeah.
it.
Didn't that dude die of a heart attack?
Oh no.
I think he did. Irony. I think he did.
But I
Fact
did
check
that.
or don't really care.
I did that. Lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight. But that was before
That was
I
such a
tried
fad.
to.
That was like the late 90s.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And I did that before I tried to get, because I gained a little weight after football. And when I discovered that I had to get ready for the Secret Service physical test, I went Atkins and started working out like crazy. Like
Yeah, you needed
and I was jacked. I was jacked at 240, 239. I was lean, mean, and ready to go.
That's a scary sounding dude.
Oh man, I think that was even in football.
You were never in that good of shape.
No, that was the best. I think
Well, I
I
guess
hit my apex right
You
there.
didn't have to be in football. You had to be in football shape, which means strong enough to get off of,
Yeah.
strong enough to break off of a linebacker, quick enough to make this move.
Mhm.
Secret Service, you got to look like a specimen.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
a difference. You don't have to look like a specimen to be a freak on a football field.
Run a certain time in a mile, all that stuff. I didn't have to run a mile in football.
No.
It was short bursts.
Yeah.
Short burst. So
And what you probably do, like a 6-minute mile?
probably it was about 6 minutes.
About a 6-minute mile? Sounds right.
Yeah. About it might have been a little less than, but I was, oh man. So yeah, so food wise, yeah, so I tried that, and then the intermittent, but now it's just a little bit of intermittent, like the 1 meal.
Mhm.
I'll have 1, maybe 2 meals a day. Not much more than that.
Yeah.
But the problem is snacking.
Oh, well, that still counts as a meal, right?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Wasted
Snacking.
calories.
Yep.
That was probably my biggest thing.
Mhm.
I could waste a calorie with the best of them.
Gee.
And like, oh man, that's just, it's king cake season in Louisiana. That's just a slice of king cake, 17 of them that are an inch wide. Yeah.
Do you like the king cake? Sorry, with the cream in it or not? No cream in it.
Not a big fan of the filled king cakes.
Okay, so my wife says
No.
she doesn't like the
No.
cream filled cakes.
No,
It's
just
got to be
traditional.
It's got to be that.
Yeah, we'll go with just traditional king cake.
Mm.
So, yep. So, and then the last one is physical symptoms, headaches, and we kind of talked about that. Aches, irregular sleep. I guess if you get sleepless nights, I don't think it's necessarily depriving yourself of sleep as much as you can't shut your brain off. You can't find a time to actually rest the body because the mind won't shut down.
Mm.
And I think that'll lead to some irregular sleep patterns. If you're constantly thinking about other stuff while you're trying to go to, or constantly not thinking about other stuff, you're constantly thinking about the things that cause stress in your life as you're trying to go to sleep, there is absolutely zero chance that you're going to get a quality night's sleep. But I think we don't do enough to decompress before we go to bed at night, mainly because of the thing that we keep in our hand till the time we go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the popular term is doom scrolling. And so much of what we do is, sometimes it could be mindless. A lot of times it's not, funny dogs and people falling down videos. It's usually,
I got caught on Twitter looking at fights, different kind of fights, at young kids fighting, older people fighting, Waffle House fighting.
Waffle House fights are pretty good though.
Yeah, but it was just like,
yeah, there's no need to consume that at 11:30 at night.
no, an hour later, I'm like, what a waste.
Could have went to sleep and woke up and going to the gym with my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It does get you a good night's sleep though? It kind of does. I mean, if you can't shut your brain off, then it's not going to do the trick for you. But if you are in a good spot where you're not completely burnt out, it'll help you get into a deep sleep and recover for the next day. Even with magnesium is one of the big components, right? I don't know if you have enough magnesium in your diet, but that is one of the keys to recovery and also helps the body recoup. And that's what Thirdzy has. So give it a look. Promo code NDOZZZ. We didn't talk about all this to talk about Thirdzy, but it is something that is real. And I'm not emotionally burnt out or physically burnt out or anything. But this right here does help me it's proven. It's science. It's not snake oil where it will get your body into a deep sleep for recovery. And I love it. So it's a great product. So I'm happy to be tied to it.
I have a couple of ideas.
All right.
The first one is
solve the world's problems. That's what we do. By the way.
We'll try. The first one is if you are married, if you're or in any kind of relationship, you talk with your partner. You let them know what's going on.
Communication.
Yep. Open up the line of communication. The next thing is try to go to sleep. Try to get some sleep. But I think the third one, and you can jump in here too, is if you're a man of faith or a person of faith, if you believe in God, get into the Bible. It'll help with the mind roaming situation. It'll reduce that a lot when you start reading scripture.
Yeah,
that's my belief.
No, I don't. From some type of personal reflection and connection with God will definitely ease your mind if that is the course in life of what you believe and what you practice. There's no reason for it not to be. And talking about all these things, it almost seems foolish that we wait to the end to say it. But at the same time, this is what happens to us on a daily basis, where all of these things that we listed are things that start to consume us and burn us out. And we forget about our faith or push it to the side more than what we should. And then you wait for a moment to come back to it, not realizing that it was there all along. And it's just as therapeutic as anything else to be strong in faith, because when you're strong in faith and your family is as well, it's going to pull you out of it. It's going to get you there. It's a support system that will never go away. But it is something that when we feel lost, not everyone returns to that.
100%. And also understand it can be a miracle. It'll happen overnight, or it may take some time.
Yes.
But just have faith.
Yes. Faith is a powerful thing. It's something that is very personal. And my faith is different than your faith, and it can't all be the same, and there's no reason for it to be.
Just as long as you believe that Jesus died for your sins.
Probably it'll make you a better person.
You'll be very good. You'll be good to go.
Yeah. Well, Ray, burnout's real. I think there's no question about that. And I think there are definitely some signs. And, these were the signs these were the signs that we saw point to what someone who is experiencing a burnout might go through. And just by talking through it, I think we've all been at certain points in our lives where something like this has touched us. Now, whether or not it led to complete burnout or we're able to get out of it is, to be seen on the next situation that presents itself. But being aware that there are certain things to pay attention to and focus on in your daily life to help prevent you from going into a burnout. They're there. And I think that was the big takeaway from me, is just kind of being a little bit more aware of these things that surround us that can lead to a burnout situation. Well, Ray, we once again solved all the problems of the world, and for all the dads out there. So it's nice to know that we can contribute like that on a weekly basis. But no, we do appreciate everyone for tuning in and listening. And make sure you hit the like button, follow, subscribe, drop us a comment below if you've experienced any kind of fatigue or burnout in your life as a dad or as a mom or whatever it may be. But let us know. And make sure you follow us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Amazon as well, anywhere that you get your podcast. And we will see you next time on
New Dad Order.